Welcome to your new favorite band, the podcast brought to you by the LA Maybe. And now, your hosts, Dallas Dwight and Drizzle Silvera.
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of your new favorite band with the LA Maybe. We have a very special guest today. Before we get to him, I am Dallas Dwight.
And I'm Drizzle Silvera. What's up?
And our special guest today is Ethan Gibson.
Wow.
I'm kidding, it's Gibbons.
Gibson, bro. Yeah, are you like endorsed, man?
Yeah, just right out of the gate, just get your name wrong. Ethan and I have, how long have we known each other?
I remember you from like
high school.
High school, yeah. Yeah, I think you were probably a freshman and I was a sophomore when we first met. Because I remember we had a mutual friend. We had a mutual friend named Paul who introduced us. Yep.
Paul introduced us?
Yeah, he introduced us. He said, because he was like, hey, you got to meet this guy. He keeps wearing this Guns N' Roses t-shirt. Yeah. And I was really big in Iron Maiden. Still am. Yeah. And and he was just, and that was something that me and Paul connected on, was just music. And he was like, you really got to meet this guy. So I met you right around that time.
Dude, I've known Paul since first grade, I think. His dad was my gym teacher.
Oh, wow.
In elementary school.
Cool.
And yeah, that's cool. I don't remember meeting you through Paul, but I do remember meeting you, and I remember we sat next to each other in chemistry class. Now, you were a junior and I was a sophomore, I think.
Okay.
For that. But we definitely had like a couple classes together. I remember that.
Right.
And that was super fun. And I was just always begging you to join my band, and you were always like, nah, dude.
What band was that?
It was probably Live Round at that time or something. You know?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Just me like trying to start something up, and I just could never find people to play with that wanted to play like rock. Everyone was doing the metal thing, you know?
Yeah.
And like you were one of the, what?
Class of 2010? Yep.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you guys are like, I don't know, Kiss buddies or something.
Way to call me out on my age here, but... That's right.
You're 46, I think, right?
46, and I still hadn't moved out of my mom's basement.
It's a good basement, to be fair.
I mean, yeah, why leave a good basement, you know?
It's not that good. It's breaking down.
Internet keeps fucking up, Mom. But, yeah, you were an outlaw, I think.
At that time, most likely, yep, because it was, I was an outlaw only for a little bit after I moved to Dutch Fork, because it didn't last long after that. So
see, I feel like it was an eternity. Because I asked you, I swear, like every week for like 2 years.
I think by the time I was a junior, I was an Invader. I think that's
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
And that was one of my most fun, favorite bands to be a part of.
Yeah.
Especially at that time in my life when I was like a piss and vinegar, and just like I wanted to get out there and show the whole world, you know, the insides of me.
Yeah, gross.
And in every way you could, imagine. And for me,
that's where you. I don't know if you met Seth there, but you and Seth were both in that band together. Seth's another good friend of mine.
I met Seth. I think you're right. I think I met him in Invader. Seth was the drummer of Invader at the time that I was in Invader, and then that leads on to the rest of the story between me and you.
Right. Yeah. So we. No, I guess I started Osara after another band I was in fell apart. And I started a band called Osara with my friend Colton. And then we were having member changes and stuff, and ended up getting you and Seth.
Yep.
So the core lineup from what I remember of my days in Osara was Seth, Ethan, Dallas, and Colton.
Yep.
And the four of us, and we went down and recorded with Rick Beato, who's now an internet superstar.
Oh yeah,
and like does tours and stuff.
Ever since he met us, man, he's been great.
He's been on just the kid's been going up since he met us.
We must have given him that Midas touch or something.
I know. Wouldn't even take a picture with us though, man.
Well, yeah, you did. If you ever look at that picture on your desk, that's him.
You see the reflection in glasses or something. But yeah, man, that was a crazy time. We had a fun time there. We've had a lot of, we were also in an Alice in Chains tribute together, you, me, and Seth.
Yeah, some of the earliest touring experience I would have had.
Same. Yeah, same. We played all over the country. We did the 30-hour drive home from El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, it was rough.
We had to figure out how to get out of the line into Juarez, Mexico.
Yeah, I remember that pretty clearly.
Thank God that neighborhood was there, dude.
No, see, that was not a thank God thing. That was like a holy crap. We're about to turn down the ugliest road to get out of this line before we end up in one of the ugliest cities. So
with a trailer and my RAV4.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, and it was no telling where that road was going to lead, but we took it.
Yeah, and we just knew that this way was Juarez, Mexico, and then there was this option. So we were like, whatever this is. Like
at the time we were in that line to go to Mexico, we had 40 minutes to be on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That was the Texas Tattoo Showdown. We played with Drowning Pool, Deftones, Shifty, remember him?
I remember Shifty. We played with.
He's the guy that does "Come My Lady, Come Come My Lady." Yeah. More tattoos than I've ever seen on a human being.
They had that whole hotel we stayed in.
Yeah, like for Hilton or something.
For all the artists, so we were all in that hotel partying till the sun came up.
You were. Seth and I were up in the room watching Friends. I'll never forget it.
Yes, I was. I stayed up.
Asleep early.
I stayed up through the whole party. And to be honest, I was the last person in that lobby. I was like the last person awake and aware of and then I went to bed. I was like, yeah. I outlasted all these guys.
I toured.
Right.
We did it.
That's right. I toured.
We drove home.
I can die happy now.
30 hours. It's the GPS said 24. El Paso, Texas. Texas is shaped like a gun. El Paso is the very tip of that gun, far away from us, home, right? So the GPS, we pulled it up. It said 24 hours. Ended up taking 30 with stops. We stopped at Cracker Barrel. Do you remember what happened at Cracker Barrel?
But you can tell.
You waited the entire meal for ketchup. Oh, and it never came, and you just sat there with like a cold burger and fries, just like so sad. In my experience throughout life, I've come to discover that that's going to happen all the time. Yeah.
So I better just go ahead and eat the damn burger.
But you learned that lesson then, I guess, because you were just sitting there like waiting, and like she'd come back and like fill up waters. You'd be like, "Could I get the ketchup?" Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Never came.
One of the hardest things to cope with being in a first world country.
Right.
Not getting that ketchup.
Not getting that ketchup in a timely manner.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Or as we discovered, red sauce.
Red sauce. Yeah. In the UK, they call it red sauce, and like, dude, call it ketchup. Like we're not 8 years old. That's a shout out to all my UK friends. I'm
glad you're getting rid of him so quickly. he doesn't speak for both of us UK friends. I love the UK.
Have you been to the UK?
No, but I still love it.
Okay, yeah, I just love the idea of the UK. Yeah, I'd never been either. I'd
bangers and mash all the way.
I love both those things.
I'm drinking a Gaelic ale here, so
hey, nice.
That's definitely UK.
There's nothing gay about that. I don't know what you're saying.
From Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a. What did you get me, Driz?
I don't know, some Seagrams, spiked Seagrams or something.
This is pretty yummy, though.
Spiked, yeah.
Spiked green, crispy apple, as Ethan said.
Yes,
crispy apple.
And I'm drinking a Gaelic as well.
The same one, yeah.
Thanks, Ireland.
Well, how are you liking it?
It's pretty Gaelic and pretty ale-y, so
I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
It's not bad for Asheville's
potatoes or something.
It's not bad for Asheville's first beer.
No, definitely not. It's
shout out Asheville.
It's definitely really good. I've always liked these from the moment I had one. Yeah.
Please. Which is just now.
The town council can sponsor
Killakoi and LA maybe, like a dual sponsorship.
Yes.
For the podcast. Yeah. You'd be on every week though, right?
Sure. Making beers is such a customary thing now for rock bands that we can go ahead and get this going with them.
You got the Iron Maiden one, I remember, at was that at Ripper's Rock House?
I probably did if they were serving it.
Yeah.
Someone else bought it for me because ain't no way I could afford it.
Really? Are they that expensive?
Back then, for sure. I was broke as hell. Ain't no way I could afford it.
Oh, very true.
It could have been a Bud Light. I would have been like, hey, Dallas, you remember back in high school we were bros, right?
Could you spot me this $1.50, please?
I need that $1.50. I'd really like this beer if you don't mind.
Like to cash in on that $1.50. That's amazing. We also lived together. We had the Osara house.
We did, and that was a good time.
You, me, and Seth.
Yep.
The big three.
Yep.
So you were in Osara as well for a period of time?
I was in Osara from the time that...
it was 2013-ish.
It was... You
were there after me a little bit as well.
Right. I was in Osara from about 2013-ish. Or from whenever Osara just started, after Noah.
I think, in 2012.
After Noah left, I came in right at that time. And then...
But Seth was already in, I think.
Yes, Seth was already in. And I was in the band until about 2016, give or take a day or two.
What?
Yeah.
Give or take a day or two. So January 1st.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Trying to figure that one out. Yeah, you were there. I left in 2015, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I moved up here.
We're
from Columbia, or not from, but that's where we all were hanging out.
Right, and we had brought in. We had 2 more member changes since I left and you were gone. So
right, yeah.
Seth had left, and we had we'd tried a drummer or two, and then Leo was in the band since I was in the band.
Yeah, he's still in, I think.
Correct.
I don't know what Osara's doing these days, but I was a part of helping record their latest album, I think, and they've maybe released a couple things since then, but the last full-length album I did all the vocal production for, so Colton and I did the vocals together.
Right on, cool.
So, obviously no bad blood still,
Yeah, I don't imagine that ever happened. And maybe in the beginning that always happens when you sever a relationship in such a way. Oh, but, people are okay enough with getting over it, and for the most part, people will understand that life takes you on different paths.
As Ethan says this, just a single tear, just slowly.
I get emotional, man. It might happen here.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, we had some good times. I don't know that I remember a ton of the Osara days, because what sticks out in my head is more the Grind stuff. Grind was the name of the Alice in Chains tribute we were a part of, and that's what took us across the country, doing a lot of gigs and a lot of first touring experience, like you were saying. Because this is our first time packing up the car.
Yeah,
my car.
The car, yeah.
That RAV4, man.
My little red RAV4.
Small RAV4 with 4 dudes who had to live out of it and hit the country.
I totaled that RAV4 a couple years ago.
Oh, no way.
And I sent the guys a picture of it, and I said, "How's your day going?"
Oh, man.
It was just a totaled car.
Dude,
it was a Wednesday.
We did it. We did Madhouse in that one, or Mad Life.
Mad Life, yeah.
Mad Life.
We rented a little U-Haul, went to Atlanta and played a gig. Now we have, the passenger van and the trailer and all that.
Right. It's probably a lot more comfortable than curling up with another body in the trunk of that
back,
car.
Because we did have a trailer though. We would rent U-Hauls and stuff, but we would lay down the seats and lay out like blankets and pillows and stuff, and we'd have 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, not one of us could stretch out at all back there. So having 2 people back there,
you have to kind of curl sideways,
I mean, we paid our dues in one trip, pretty much.
At least you could stretch out in the Forerunner, right? Because we did that.
Still not, I don't think 100% full, because an adult human male.
I can do it full, then you can.
Were you at an angle though?
I was tall. I'm tall.
Probably at an angle, maybe.
Hardly.
Because I remember my head would be on the back of the seat, and my feet would be up against the thing, pretty much.
I mean, they touch the thing, but,
it's not a huge car.
No, it's not. Definitely not. But that Forerunner served the purpose for a little bit.
The guy in the very back's in a different zip code.
Of the van.
Away.
Yeah, dude. So the 16 passenger vans, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what we've got. We got the 16 passenger. You got the 2 front seats, and then you've got the 4 rows of seats behind that. And in the very back, you can't even hear the conversations, let alone the music that they're playing in the car. Hardly.
Yeah.
So you're just in another world back there. It's so tranquil.
Shout.
Yeah. I bought this air mattress. It's like a backpacking air mattress, but it's 4 inches thick when you blow it up, and I'm able to spread it out back there and just get pretty good sleep on the road. Because you've obviously had to sleep in a car. Every big bump wakes you up a little bit, and then you fall back asleep, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Especially if the sun's out. That air mattress is like a cushion, dude. You just boom. Boom.
I like that. Ding.
I really don't think I slept much at all. I don't really sleep much at all when I'm touring. Whether I'm driving, whether I'm the artist, there's not much sleep for me when touring begins. And for most people who get excited for me, when I'm going out maybe with an artist they really like, and they get really excited for me, because of course touring is something that everybody loves to do and dreams of doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that I know I'm not going to sleep for 2 months, and I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have a lot of memories, but I'm not going to sleep for 2 months, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt when I come back. It's going to hurt my spine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just contorted in all these weird places. Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. Oh, we should probably point out Ethan's a bass player. Did we say that?
I mean, I left a context clue right behind him, right there on the wall.
Right on.
Stingray bass.
Yeah.
Right on. I haven't played bass in 8 years.
For real?
No,
You're
not for real. No.
You played bass probably this morning.
We have every instrument in our studio, so I do get to play around with everything.
Nice.
Which is fortunate, but the funny thing is that since I joined Killakoi, I haven't played bass once. I play every instrument besides bass.
Right.
Which is so funny to me, because I was always a bass player.
Right. That's funny to me too, because that's what always drew me to you, is you're an awesome bass player, and then also, as anyone can attest to ever seeing you live, your stage presence is just off the charts.
Yeah.
Which always, always drew me to you as well. Which you would probably be proud seeing the LA maybe these days, because I just stole everything you do and just.
Well, actually, I've seen some of your performance videos, and I've noted that you've come out of your shell quite a bit.
I used to be very reserved, and you would be the one going nuts.
Right.
And now I was like, you know what? I think Ethan was right. Like, let's just.
Well, you're having fun, and that's what's important.
There,
And I mean, I'm glad you're having fun, and that's what it's all about anyway.
Yeah, the LA maybe. For me is and I think for a lot of the guys in the band, hopefully all the guys in the band, it's the truest expression of like who we are.
Right.
So it's easy. I was doing pop punk, I was doing Osara, which was a little heavier, and I love that stuff, but it was never the true like just gritty, sleazy rock.
Right.
No influences from metal at all. Just rock, And that has always been the truest thing that I really feel and like breathe and it's just a natural thing for me. So it's easy for me to just be like, yeah, this is, let's jump around. I've also, I think, just gotten better overall through years of practice and training and performing and stuff that now I know, like, okay, this is a part of the show that needs to be addressed. We can't just focus on playing. We have to focus on the other stuff too.
Yeah.
So, but you were just way ahead of me on that.
Well, I was also, I got to hold the bass, which I didn't have to hold the guitar and fill in for a 3-piece band. Right. To make basically all the sound for
noise,
the band. Yeah.
Because so I was just a 4-piece. We did the Van Halen thing. We had the true front man, no guitar, and then we had me on guitar, and then you on bass and Seth on drums. So there was no layering or thickening. It was just like, this is it. Like, So
I suppose I kind of had the advantage as far as that goes for having that freedom of movement.
That's a good point. But now you're in Killakoi, so that brings me to that. So Killakoi is obviously our new favorite band today.
Cool.
For this week.
Mine too.
We love Killakoi. I've loved and followed you guys for a while. And what blew me away right off the bat when I heard you guys, the first time I heard you, which I don't remember when that was, a few years ago maybe, was just the production was incredible and Jordan's voice right off the bat. Those two things, I was like, okay, like these guys have that sound that I'm familiar with, and this is and they do it in a way that pulls me in. Like, okay, I'm in. Like, I'm ready for this.
Good. I'm glad to hear that from you, because I've always known, you and I have had come up in music and our influences together through the years. So I'm glad it is taking an effect on you in that manner. That's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And what do you guys tune to? You're not on 7 strings, are you?
Well, we have different. Yeah, we are, but we have different. We have different tunings.
Because I know it's just low as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like A or something.
Yeah, it'll go from like B to A.
So just 7 string. Yeah.
Yeah, and then some of them. I mean, we do get to have fun. So anymore, we're doing a lot of more experimental things. Right. I don't even know what you consider experimental anymore when you have a 24-string guitar and everybody can record on it. So it's kind of hard to say what's experimental, but I mean, anybody who gets to sit down in a studio and just get to play around with today's technology can come up with anything.
Some crazy stuff, yeah.
And that's pretty much like, it's a no holds bar kind of thing. We whatever we can come up with that we really like, we're gonna try it from this point on.
Yep.
Because we are a lot more self-involved than it was when it first started.
Right, like DIY in that sense.
Correct. Yeah. So even to the point of music videos, I mean we're going. I mean we've always done our own merch too. So that's
like the designs and all that.
Well, we have the designs, and we also have our own merch shop. It's part of our studio. So
literally printing it.
Yeah, it's all been in house, and now we've expanded into we all have our hands in something, but we get into Unreal Engine, we'll get into the video stuff, and
who's doing that kind of work?
Well, we like to all like experiment with it and explore. I would say Robbie has his hands in it more than anyone else at this point.
That's like
as far as Unreal Engine goes.
Yeah, I was about to say, for people that don't know listening, Unreal Engine is one of the softwares that programs like AAA video games.
Right, correct.
Like the top of the line. Any game you see and buy is probably either Unreal Engine or Unity. I think it's called Unity.
Right, right. And we also we rent out our touring vehicles, so everything's kind of like
income streams. Yeah,
everything's income streams. So anything that we can do for ourselves, we can do for others. Yeah. So it's
business. Yeah,
and that's actually what Pangea Productions is. It's kind of like the other side that we can offer to others, as opposed to Killakoi working on itself.
Right.
So that is also all done with throughout our studio complex that we're in. So
yeah, is that well? Yeah, that's a theme I think that anyone listening to this podcast has probably picked up on. from all the musicians we've talked to is like today the way to really do it is DIY.
Oh yeah,
as
for
much
sure.
as you can.
Yeah.
And with that comes learning a suite of skills that you didn't know had anything to do with being a musician.
Right.
For example, just today I learned so much about the South Carolina tax code that like I had a meeting with our band accountant today and our manager, and we were all in a meeting room together. And the accountant's taking me through all these things, and I'm just drinking in all this tax knowledge and things to be compliant and things you got to think about so that, you know, if you do blow up down the road, they don't come back and bite you in the ass and you owe tens of thousands of dollars in late fees and things. And you can't just say, I didn't know, you know, so like figuring out all this stuff and then turning around and learning about like van repairs. I'm not a car guy at all, but I'm willing to learn, like, you know, like we just changed the oil in it. And then, you know, now we have to replace some like parts and like doing all this stuff and like learning about vehicles and cars, which has never been, like I said, never been something that's interested me in the slightest. But you learn all these skills to help the band, you know, learning Photoshop, learning web design, learning video design, all these podcasts. We built this whole place. We're literally drizzling iron here, hammering and screwing in nails and stuff. Like,
yeah,
everything is DIY for the most part. We record all our own music, you know, we do.
Well, that's the benefit.
Stuff.
I mean, you and I, we said it on the podcast before, we both run our own studio. This is the podcast studio, but right across the way, I've got my actual studio and mics and pre's, and we've invested, and I've been an engineer for well over a decade, big productions and broadcast mixes and all that kind of stuff. So,
and all that experience, like, and
comes together.
I went to school for like visual communications and graphic design, and I was doing like poster design for like 5 Points Pub and stuff back in Columbia, and that got me free tickets to like St. Pat's, you know, just fun stuff like that. And all that stuff just kind of comes together, you know. You learn these little skills along the way out of necessity. Like, we need a logo. And then you're like, okay, well, we got to find someone who does a good logo. Oh, I like that logo. Let's contact this guy. Oh, he wants $1,500. Okay, well, let's go YouTube like Photoshop tutorial. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's,
you know,
it's so easy. It's so easy to be the one doing it yourself. For like,
and then you have total control too, which is also kind of fun.
Exactly.
And then also when Killakoi asks us to do a show and they say, Dallas, send us the logo, I don't have to go to Joe and be like, hey, could I get the logo? They actually need it in black, not white or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I can just do it. You're like, hey, I need the black one. Okay, here, have the black one. Have all of them. I don't care. I have all of them. Like,
right.
I made them all. Like, take them all. You know?
Yeah,
Here's
you don't have to go through another party.
Like, you can do all this stuff.
Right.
It's just direct, immediate. And if you know anything about me, I'm all about efficiency and moving quickly. Like, if you send me an email that needs a reply, like, odds are you're getting a reply within less than 10 minutes. You know, like those kind of things, like, you know, things got to move fast. If you ask me for something that you need, I'm not going to be the one that holds up the train, you know? So you'll get your logo, you know, that kind of stuff. And we've built things in a way that allow me to do that. I don't have to go to someone else. We don't have to run it up the chain. We don't have to do all this stuff. That kind of leads us into being independent as well. You know, I don't know if you guys have a label or anything like that.
No.
Yeah. So we're fully independent as well. And we've
not that we haven't been asked,
right? Yeah,
and actually have had to decline, which
same.
I mean, it's funny when you do, because you think about, you know, if a year ago, we declined, where would we be a year ago today if we did not decline? And
those kind of hypotheticals you'll just get lost.
Well, the good thing is that if you keep the contact, then maybe down the road,
sure, yeah,
you can work something else out, or maybe they'll work with you kind of more pro bono, bridges, or just you know, however it may go.
Yeah, pro boner. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but being independent is, I think, at least for us, it's so important. I feel like the last thing we need is honestly more opinions. That's the main thing. It's like, I don't want to have to answer to anyone right now.
I'm usually the quiet one when it comes to like being really opinionated, unless it's something like I feel like, okay, I gotta chime in.
I think most of us are.
But yeah,
if we have, you know, if I don't have an opinion on something, I'll usually just be like, yeah, whatever. I'll have an opinion. You guys, you know, if someone does, like, let's hear it. But true, you know. And then when I do have an opinion, you'll know. Yeah. You guys can both probably attest to that.
100%.
So Killakoi.
Back to Killakoi.
That's me, Killakoi.
Oh, can I ask a question? I really got to ask a question.
Ahead.
Okay.
If it's about the band name, I'm going to knock you out of the chair.
It's about the band name.
Shit.
So you better knock me out of the chair.
No, I'm never going to do that.
You got to come over here first.
I can't reach.
No. Okay. Is it about like legit like killing a koi from a fucking koi pond?
The name Killakoi? The name Killakoi, that is the credit's going to have to go to the three amigos, Sam, Robbie, and Jordan, who will always tell you it was influenced by the song Rumblefish by Seven Dust. Mm-hmm. And it's also part of the brand of a balance. The balance between good and evil, the balance between peace and war, Killakoi.
Because the old Chinese symbol was the koi, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it is that it's kind of like it's resembling that balance in the name.
Okay, so here's what I thought in my head. Here's what I came up to, the conclusion in my head with the band. And I knew I probably wrong.
If this is a better story, you guys have to then tell this story.
But here's the story though. All right, so koi are like protected fish. They're pretty like, right? Like in the what, Japanese
Japanese or Far East. I don't remember exactly specifically which
somewhere
one.
over there, you know. They are like a protected fish. They're honored. They're sacred, right? And so like, to me, it was. I was thinking in my head, I was like, oh yeah, like tradition, like you know, traditions like that you respect, like fucking kill it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's kind of cool though. I like that.
It's not necessarily all. It's also not necessarily kill a koi. It's killa. It's kind of like
damn,
slang.
that's a dope koi.
Yeah.
Like
it's
this
slang.
koi is a straight up killer.
Yeah,
but
like,
I guess
like yo, that's a killer koi.
Yeah.
I guess you can pronounce it however you want because people sometimes pronounce our names Kakalaki or
okay, well that's just illiteracy is what
well one of the singers for one of the bands we were on tour with said if you say your name backwards it spells Iokaolik. Okay. And I just can't help but think that's probably why it's Killakoi, so that when people see it backwards they can say that.
And that's why today we're drinking Irish Gaelic Ale, because that is our Gaelic word of the day,
Iokaolik. Yeah. It means
just
potato.
Fucking around. Yeah.
As most words in Gaelic do.
I don't know if he was poking fun at the name or if he really liked it, though.
No, I'm not poking fun.
Not you, but the singer who made the comment about the backwards pronunciation.
Yeah. I'm fucking all this shit
I don't know. Yeah, we get the name thing all the time.
You know,
we've get your name.
We've been asked before if not by like a fan, but by like people we talk to, if we would consider changing our name. And the kind of reaction is just like we all just look at each other like, that's something we ever would really want to do.
Yeah.
No, we like our name.
But also, like from a business perspective, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Like, what do you want us to change?
That's like someone saying, like, why don't you just start completely over?
Well, I'm sure they'd want it to sound more like every single other band.
No, okay. Here's my theory on names. I could not disagree more with this person. Every name is stupid until it's not. Okay. You can come up with any Led Zeppelin. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, Zeppelin.
But
they can't fly.
We've heard it so many times that we don't think about it anymore. Guns N' Roses. So dumb. Why is it in and not and? Why is there an apostrophe? Guns N' Roses.
Yeah,
what? This sucks.
And why would you have guns with roses?
So
guns are so cool.
But we've heard it so many times that we just accept it without thinking.
The League of?
The League of. That's the best band name of all time. I will stand by that till I die.
Okay, so y'all remember Dr. Acula?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we're coming back to the League of, though, but keep going.
Okay, all right. Go back to the League
No,
of.
finish your thing. Or was that it?
No, that's it.
Okay, well, that was not a great anecdote.
Speaking of Paul, by the way.
See me after class. I'm kidding. Well, hold on. I got to take a sip.
Maybe I need another beer, too. I think I need our...
Okay, so Daniel Kyer and I...
we could talk about Daniel, too.
Yeah, Ethan knew Daniel. Podcast listeners will know Daniel Kyer from the song When I'm Gone from us. And we came up with this idea for a joke metal band. It started with me listening to Metallica and thinking, like, you know what? I could probably sit down and in a few hours write an album of these riffs. They're just like dun 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 dun. I was like, okay, we could do this. That was the joke. And so I sat down and wrote as many riffs as I could in like an afternoon or whatever. That ended up becoming the League of EP. So Daniel and I were in the I forget where we were, but we were on a band named Generator.com or whatever. Just hitting generate. I
remember that website.
And we were trying to come up with a name for this band. This spoof metal band that we had come up with. There was a lot of different, like, okay, this is a big story. And clearly there were patterns. Like something would come up and be, the darkness, the devils, the champions, whatever it was. And then there would be like the League of Darkness, the League of Devils. Like it would just take these different things to do it. And one that pops up is the League of.
And that was the one.
We just looked at that and we were like, that's the fucking name right there. The League of.
I remember I thought it was a typo.
Yeah, everyone did. We had people constantly, we played 2 shows. But for both of those shows, posters had to be made. For the first one, I wish I could have tracked this guy down. He is a god because he took his job like so seriously and he was such a good graphic designer. This poster was gorgeous. And not only that, but he made a logo for the League of that was one of the coolest logos I've ever seen and was properly done. Like it was a little and then the League of was big and he had like vines going through it. And dude, I was sitting here looking at it like, oh my God, like that is incredible. And then I think both our shows we played with Invader though, right?
We did play at least one. Yeah, we did at least
Definitely
one together.
One of them.
And you guys all wore the mask and the cloaks.
We're going to get to that. There's a video on Facebook. We're going to get to that.
I'm going to have to go see that.
Yeah. Jimmy Boone. Seth's dad.
Oh, well, yeah.
Seth's dad. It's on his page. If you go way back.
When it's a memory, it'll come up.
When it's a memory. That's pretty dope.
When it's a memory, dude.
That's a song title. Song title. Song title. When it's a memory.
Going list.
Killakoi said it first.
Killakoi has intellectual property rights. You heard it here first.
What was it, dude?
When it's a memory.
When it's a memory. Shit.
When it's a memory.
Fuck
first one
guys.
to write a shitty song wins. Okay, so.
Okay.
So the League of.
I win.
We did. We did a full EP, and it was all just funny stuff. Like it was all like. What was the one song? Oh, Super Satan. So Super Satan Metal was like the single. You know, there was no single, but just us having fun.
I think I remember that song.
Yeah, we recorded. It's cool riffs, though. There's some cool riffs in there. I'll have to show you some of them after this because I remember a couple of them. But it was me, Daniel played drums. He's primarily a guitar player, but a really good drummer as well. So he played drums for that. Paul, the friend we were talking about earlier, he was the vocalist.
Right.
And then my friend Patrick from high school was the bass player. And so we decided, like, okay, we have to be so over the top and weird. So let's go get these. You know, if you Google like white mask, it's the one that comes up. Just the white mask, just the plain white mask. We got these black cloaks. Couldn't see anything except our hands and our feet. So we're like, what are we gonna do for shoes? So we got these pink flip flops from Walmart, all the same exact pair of like pink flowery flip flops. And we go to New Brooklyn Tavern, which is like where we came up playing gigs.
It's like CBGB for anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah.
It's legendary.
In Columbia.
Yeah.
South Carolina. We should have mentioned that earlier. I said Columbia. We didn't say South Carolina. In the U.S. And so we decided, like, well, we can't, like, load our amps and stuff and then go change. Everyone will know it's us. It was important to us that nobody knew who we were. And still, I think, now nobody remembers, but at the time, like, nobody actually did know unless we were, like, friends with them or something. Because we showed up, drove up in costume. We loaded our amps onto the stage in costume. We refused to say one word to anyone. And we were just completely silent, like doing all of the setup and just these guys in these cloaks and masks and stuff. And then we played the show and people were like, whoa. And then we like took our stuff off and went back in the car and like, you know, did the whole thing. Like nobody knew it was us. And both those shows went pretty well. There's a video of it somewhere on Jimmy's page, like I was saying. But that was a pretty crazy memory. We played opening for you guys at one of them.
I do remember the one.
That was a good show. There's a lot of people
one
there.
time.
I remember Derek was not a big fan of me at the time. And I'll never forget.
During the League of?
Yeah, no, Derek from...
right, but
yeah.
During that time of the League
just
of?
in general. Yeah, I think we patched it up later and we're friends or whatever, but I never was like close with him, but you know, we were friendly and stuff. But there was a time where I don't think he liked me very much, where a lot of people didn't like me for a period of my life.
I fucking don't like you, man.
There you go. See, still.
That's why it took you 7 years to get me over here.
We're only, 23 episodes in?
Yeah.
More than that.
Right. You've been hitting me up every episode since number 1.
I know. I've never liked me, so there you go. But I'll never forget, I think it was my friend Ashton was in the crowd, and he said Derek at one point to his friend, I guess Brandon, he turned and was like, dude, that guitar player is really good. Ashton was standing next to him and overheard it, and he told me after. I was like, hey, there we go. I got snuck a compliment out of Derek, and he didn't even like me.
Maybe he did like you, and the only time he ever talked about you was a compliment. He just didn't waste any words.
That's a good point. Why waste words on me?
Why waste words? That's as much as he liked you. He said, why waste words on that guy?
I can't say anything nice, so I'm going to say nothing.
Say nothing. Cool lick.
But back to Killakoi. Here's my dumb fanboy question, and I have to ask it. And you know what I'm going to ask. What the fuck is that cage?
What is the cage?
What is this monstrosity? You guys need to look up Killakoi and see this thing. It's insane.
Spell it for everybody.
The cage?
No, spell the name so they can look it up.
C-A. No, it's
actually with a K for marketing purposes.
That's hilarious. K-I and put a little trademark sign next to it.
Right.
K-I-L-L-A-K-O-I, right?
Right.
I was literally about to say K-O-Koi.
Also, we'll get back to the cage, but where can people follow you?
You have a device in your pocket, type in the search bar what he just said, and everything that comes up you can follow us on.
And that is the benefit of having a good name. Which is why I'd argue that Killakoi is a great name.
I agree.
Yeah.
Which is why the LA Maybe is a great name. Which is why Osara was a great name. Which is why
I think about Osara too,
Yeah.
and I think about the uniqueness of the name.
Yeah, it's a big part.
But you know what's funny? Even Killakoi has like there's a YouTube channel. There's like a YouTube channel for Osara. For like under a whole different language, and there's like a YouTube channel for Killakoi under a whole different language.
Well, Osara, you remember we kept having that one guy that would comment on every post we ever made.
The guy from Iceland.
He was like, "Hello from Osara, Finland, or Iceland, or Sweden, or wherever it was." I can't remember the country, but it was one of the Scandinavian countries, I think. Every post we make, "Hello from Osara, Finland," like or whatever, and it was like, okay, we get it, like. We got it after the third one. Okay, but the cage. Sorry, let me pronounce it correctly. The cage.
So the cage is essentially it's a multi-purpose instrument that basically plays that I play I play all the sounds that don't come from the guitar, the bass, the drums, and the microphones.
So it's a crazy looking keyboard.
It's a crazy. It's a cage looking keyboard. It's basically like a jungle gym that I get to bang on, and it makes all the noises.
Rolling pads and stuff. It looks like around.
Yeah. And it's made out of heavy duty South African steel. And it weighs probably collectively 500 pounds at least. And that is a very fun instrument. I say when we first built it, it was basically like it was a Christmas toy that every kid who ever like wanted to be a musician wanted and didn't even know they wanted it. Like when I first got behind it, I was like, if this was given to me as a Christmas gift as a kid, I'd have been lost. This would have been it for me.
It seems like there's like a combination of like physicality to it as well.
For sure, and that's important.
It's not
that
just
I don't injure myself.
Yeah, I saw you like chained up in it at the last one.
Yeah, I did. I was suspended by chains, and I got a little bit of nerve damage from it.
Okay, cool.
But it's all for
your art,
all for the content.
Yeah, do it
for the gram, all for the gram. But it
was cool though.
Thank you. It was all intended to be part of a show. The cage in itself is supposed to be a spectacle, and I got to make the most out of it.
It is.
Even the nerve damage that was intended
with that bass thing.
What was that?
I said even the nerve damage that was pretty intended.
Well, it's at least expected. Okay, you can't expect to be suspended your whole body weight in chains and not have the tightening around very sensitive nerves in your arms, in your wrists, in your hands.
Yeah, that sounds pretty shitty.
Yeah. You guys
it's pretty cool.
You got to see the pictures. He's literally like Superman in this thing, just hanging.
It's really cool. The bruises that I sustained on my legs were actually pretty gnarly.
Really?
Yeah. And
that was tested out before, I assume.
Well, see, that was they were gnarly before the show because
so it just got worse.
Honestly, before the show happened, I don't know if I had a successful run.
Right. Oh, yeah. So it's like a David Blaine shit. Like, right. You're just like, we'll see if this works.
In some ways, yes. And it took a little bit of, you got to kind of convince, even the other guys in the band that, we got to do this. We can't, even if we do fail here, we got to do it at the show.
Right.
Like,
you have to have a live run.
Yeah, you have to do it.
You can't just rehearse.
Yeah, we have to do this.
Yeah. That's the fastest way to learn.
So we eventually nailed it, and everybody felt more encouraged as we got closer to the show, and everybody was still really, like, I don't know if they were worried about my well-being or worried about successfully pulling off the stunt, but worried before it happened for sure. And I kept, they kept asking me if I was okay, if I was good before like the curtain gets ripped or everything. But honestly, no. I mean, let's roll. That's whatever happens. Let's roll.
Yeah.
This is a show. And the fun thing is, since I was a kid, the fun thing I always wanted to witness at a show is whatever happens, it's going to happen here. It's going to happen right before my eyes.
Which is why I think Guns got so big.
Yeah.
Is aside from the music,
the fighting,
it was the like nobody
not knowing
knows
what you're
gonna
gonna happen.
Like anything could happen on stage. They could play a great show, or they could play 3 songs and Axl punches a photographer in the face and storms off, and the whole place riots and brings the whole stadium to the ground. I don't know what I'm going to see, but we're going to see something. Like,
right? But that's
just like nuts, man.
Yeah. So the cage is just a really fun thing. It's it looks great.
But it's basically just a bunch of sample pads.
Yeah, and we have
just trigger different things.
We get to basically it has evolutions it's going to go through.
Right.
And it's going to take a lot of engineering because the ideas for what we can do with it basically come from, it'd be really cool if we could build something that I could just do like this kind of thing over here, and we can make all this kind of stuff happen just by like this one move or something. But of course, nothing like that exists. So we'd have to figure out how we're going to make something like that happen. Realistically.
Yeah, I love the ingenuity and like the thoughtfulness that goes into building something like that. Would lead me to the question, like how important is the live show to you guys, which obviously seems very important. And how do you guys go about like creating these new ideas that keep things fresh and interesting and unique?
Going about it is different from, I guess, spitting out the idea. Realistically, the cage is a bit difficult to tour with at the level we're at. So the only time we really get to use the big cage is when we are having our own show or we're the headliner. If we're touring and we're not the headliner, it's really hard to have that kind of influence and pull on a touring package to say, hey, I need 8 square feet of space on this stage, on this side of the stage, with everybody's stuff stacked up. Well, one thing that is nice is that a lot of bands don't use amps these days.
Yeah.
They're getting more and more into the profiling system. I think we have quad cortexes even here.
Yeah, we do.
We're
not to
fans.
Give spoilers away to
we
people who didn't know that.
We did a whole episode on the quad cortex, actually.
But kind of getting sidetracked. But
yeah, space.
But the live show.
Yeah, so going about getting things happening is a bit difficult. We actually did build a miniature version of the cage that we do get to tour with. And basically, it's still pretty big, and people do still like it just the same. But it's not the same for me, and I think a lot of people who've seen both of them understand that.
For the real one, yeah.
Right, and but it's just difficult if you're not the headlining band, at the level
you don't
we're
want
at.
To be those douchebags that are like,
well, you're not going to get it.
Here we go. Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to get it. Yeah, I mean,
even asking
you'd have
feels
to
like,
you'd have to set up on the floor, and then people are going to be like looking at you weird. I mean, you'd really have to impress them for them not to look at you like, look at this band set up on the floor. Yeah. But, it's fun. I mean, most people, like I said, they really enjoy it. They all think it's really cool. Unfortunately, like I said, for touring purposes, there's a lot of people who across the country who have seen us play and perform on the smaller version, but have not gotten to see us on the bigger version.
Right.
We obviously hope that we can make those arrangements for everybody, because there's nothing more fun for me than to play the big cage. And I think that is I think you guys can see that when we're playing the big cage too. I have more fun playing it than you guys are going to have watching me.
Yeah.
But I hope you are enjoying watching me. But it breaks my heart that I can't take the big cage everywhere.
Yeah.
But
just carry
it will come. It will come in time. I hope that people, if you want to see it, you need to keep on spreading the word about Killakoi, because the higher up the bill we go, the more we can bring that cage to you guys.
Yeah, it's quite a spectacle, to be sure.
Yeah, well, it's definitely fun, and I appreciate all the good comments.
You trigger all the like Taylor Swift samples and
all the Taylor Swift samples.
Yeah.
He
triggers the song off the MP3, and the band just plays unplugged.
And that's the thing too. Like we can, going back to DIY, we can make everything. We can make any noise we want to. Noise any
Bass
noise
drops,
you can
all kinds of
imagine.
fun stuff, yeah.
And we could put that anywhere.
Yeah.
We could put that anywhere on the cage and any part of the set. So at any part of the set, I could start, triggering orgasms.
Do you have like a? That's what you should be doing. Do you have like a computer or a brain or something somewhere nearby that you can?
There's a brain that's actually connected to the cage. It's all part of the setup.
Is that like one of the Roland SPDs or whatever?
It's not Roland,
but similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And it all runs MIDI.
Nice.
And
so you just have it snaked out to all these different.
I have it all snaked out. I I have a MIDI that I run for the keyboard. I have a MIDI that I run for the cage.
Yeah, I forgot that keyboard's in there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I have, of course, I also sing harmonies, which is, that's whatever here. That's not really the shining moment of the cage, but it's fun that I get to sing. But yeah, it's all being run through the brain into our computer. Everything is run. Our entire show is run through our computer.
You must have a pretty powerful computer.
We have a pretty powerful computer, and the dangers of such a thing is that we have performed and they've crashed during our rehearsals. They haven't crashed live, and sometimes we just can't figure out why. And we're running the risk, like the suspension thing, like hanging up, or the stunts that we might try. Like we got to run it live. We got to hope it doesn't crash.
Clicks and tracks and all that stuff. To me, that's what you guys are doing?
Well, we do have a click. The whole point of the cage is to not have tracks.
Right, so you can do all the tracks live, essentially. But playing to a click and if you do tracks or any sort of lighting cues and all that stuff that are automated and programmed, that to me always feels like what I imagine walking a tightrope would feel like. Like at any moment, this could all go real bad. It's a miracle that it doesn't most of the time. But I don't like performing with that feeling, which is one of the reasons why we had meetings a while back and decided to ditch all that stuff, and we just do the raw organic rock thing right now.
For sure.
Nothing. And I don't have to worry about, we were in Alabama setting up and all of the shows up to that point have been no problems, and then all of a sudden a problem is happening that I've never encountered before, and I cannot explain, and I do not know how to fix.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here and then all of a sudden it fixed, and it was nothing that, we didn't really do anything.
But we still decided, to go without them.
Yeah, I don't remember. I guess.
Wasn't it at the juke joint?
No, that was at Sidetracks in Alabama.
Sidetracks.
Yeah.
Sidetracks. Yeah.
That's where they shoot the rockets from.
Huntsville.
Huntsville. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Them Dirty Roses?
Is that a band?
Yeah, they're from down that, basically Huntsville. Really good, kind of new rock band.
Not sure.
Country-ish.
Couldn't tell you for sure.
We know a lot of the new rock bands coming out. It's super
out of
fun.
Alabama,
just out of everywhere. We've met amazing people in Spain, Germany, UK, and then of course in our area and stuff. And you guys, I imagine, are probably the same, but you guys are a little heavier than us. You skew probably a little more metal. Would you call yourselves metal?
I don't know, man. It's hard to categorize. People ask all the time, you know what it's like when someone. I mean, you guys are definitely kind of more in your groove with your genre.
Easy for me. People what do you sound like? I'm like rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you like Guns N' Roses, AC/DC?
Exactly. For me, however, I'm just kind of I can name bands that you're probably not going to recognize.
Right.
And if I name a band you do, I honestly don't believe that that's a comparable band.
Right.
So.
Right, like Shinedown.
Right. So
but
I tell them.
But you're right. It's not like
you're right.
Shinedown.
Right. So I tell them that device in your pocket. If you go to that search bar and you type in KILLAKOI, you follow us on any of those.
You'll know what we sound.
And you'll know what we sound like.
Yeah. That's amazing. You've said this speech before.
Well, not on camera.
It is pretty funny though that people are like, well, how do I find you? It's like, how did you find the recipe for chicken you made last night?
Kidding. How do I find you?
Look us up. We're everywhere.
You go to your local Walmart, you buy my CD.
Right. Yeah. I actually had a friend give me a CD, and then he was kind of a douche to me, and I left that CD in Walmart.
Talking about CDs you're finding.
That friend was Ethan. No, I'm kidding.
Was it really? Did that happen?
Not at all.
I found a Marilyn Manson CD on a trash can one time at a gas station.
That's hilarious.
I was
in Walmart the other day shopping for groceries, walking out, and you know how they have the stacks of just stuff in the aisles. It'd be like a pallet of I don't know, tampons or whatever.
Yeah,
and on top of this pallet of tampons, for example, is Boston's first CD just sitting there. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, there's an absolute masterpiece of a record that I'm sure Tom Schultz did not imagine would just be sitting in a Walmart discarded like no one cares. On
top of a box of tampons.
It wasn't tampons, but it was,
feminine products or something.
No, it was just something random. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was just probably tortilla chips or something. I don't know.
Some Twinkies or some shit.
Yeah, not even anything cool. But I was just, and it wasn't with the CDs. It wasn't in the bargain bin. It was just sitting there left alone, the only CD. And I just walked by and that thought just occurred to me, that's so ridiculous that do you ever think that 60 years later, or whenever they recorded that, that's just so crazy.
So here's a cool segment. All right, everyone who has one of our CDs, if you have it in a weird place or a funky place after you've bought one from the merch store, obviously you listen to it, but if you've left it anywhere weird in your house or it's currently sitting in a funny spot, how about you message us and let us know where your CD is
picture,
currently sitting and send us a picture.
There was another, I forgot. Someone else go. Checking out.
I like Boston. They're a good band.
They're a good band.
Boston's a good band.
So I heard you say something about some Iron Maiden earlier.
Yeah. What about them?
I don't know.
What kind of?
We'll tell you every.
What kind of trivia do we need to get into?
I'm not going to get into trivia.
Him and Seth, both the biggest Iron Maiden fans I know, would just have contests constantly of like trying to out Maiden each other.
I'm pretty sure there's a million other couples just like that too. And what's funny about it is that
I appreciate you calling you and Seth a couple.
Thank you.
Nice.
I still feel, and I know this sounds stupid, and it is stupid for me to say it, but I still feel like I'm the biggest Maiden fan in the world. I know that's not fucking true.
You know what's great though? Is they make you feel that way.
Exactly.
And they make every other one of their fans feel that way.
Millions of them feel that way.
And
I know.
So they have the legion
crazy.
of the toughest, craziest fans. It's awesome.
I know. They definitely caught the spirit of so many
How do you
people.
think they did that? Why do you like Maiden?
Integrity.
Okay, what does that mean? Would you say
integrity? Yeah.
Okay, so integrity means how would you define it? For a band.
I think that as a fan of Iron Maiden, you find their essence that captured you.
Right. And they're always true to themselves.
Right, and throughout their career, throughout their albums, you'll always have what captivated you about them is all throughout all their career.
That's interesting.
And it's not just their music. The music is always going to be number one. But Iron Maiden, whether or not you listen to them, has become a fashion statement.
The art, the story, the designs, Eddie.
And Kelly asked me one time, she asked me about it, like, so what is it about that band that did it for you? And I was like, well, a lot of people like Captain America, Thor. I like Eddie.
Right.
Eddie's my superhero.
Yeah.
Like he does everything, goes to all the worlds. He's got every superpower. I never got
the lore of it.
Well,
they have a mobile app that's like a game. I don't know.
It's what they've been touring on for the last 5 years is under the name of that game. But it's hard for bands to have successful games.
What was
but
the
Iron Maiden's
Iron
Maiden's had games since the 90s.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
What was the newest album again?
The one they just released is called Senjutsu.
That's right.
We could talk about that album. We could talk about Iron Maiden if that's something you guys want.
But for me, it's a matter of life and death.
Me too.
That album is so good.
It's been like that for me too.
And it's like all the things you like about Maiden, but for me, production is such a huge part of it. And the production on that album blows out all their other albums, in my opinion.
Right.
And it's just everything you like about Maiden, but produced perfectly.
Yeah, and I think,
for example, why I'm not the biggest Pantera fan. Their music's incredible. Their riffs are amazing. Dimebag's incredible. But the production, I cannot listen to it for extended periods of time.
I will second that. Yeah.
I think that Matter of Life and Death is unmastered.
Unmastered?
Yep.
Totally.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, they mixed it hot then, because it sounds good.
It sounds good.
Those drums are huge. That bass is glued.
That's one thing that
are huge.
I don't know if it's always like
For the greater good of God, dude.
I don't know if it's like an Iron Maiden thing or if it's like a drummer thing, but Nico usually gets praises for his drum quality almost every album.
That's interesting.
And even on this latest album, he gets a lot of praise.
I honestly don't know how much he would have to do with that. Because if you go...
Well, he's been working with Kevin Shirley for the last 20 years.
Has he done all the albums, Shirley?
For the last 20 years.
For the last 20, so not the like early stuff. Well, I guess no, they've been.
That's about halfway.
Like 40.
Yeah, it's about halfway through.
Like, Jesus. Okay, well that makes sense. But that's interesting because I don't know how much it would vary widely drummer to drummer, I suppose. But some drummers would go in and play and leave and not have anything to do with the sound,
Yeah, well, Nico always seems like he's really into his drums and his drum sound.
Portnoy is the same way. They say, like, I want it to sound like this, I don't like this, change this, that kind of thing.
Right.
Which, for Portnoy, maybe let the producer do it. But what's that one album where it's like, the snare is like, gung, 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 every time he hits it. And once you hear that pitch, it ruins the entire album for you. You can't unhear anything.
It's the album with As I Am on it, right?
No, that one's pretty good. That's Train of Thought. It's like it's the one that like Awake was on or something like that. You know what? 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
But the songwriting on that album,
there's some good ones where you can kind of get, but there's a couple songs where the snare is just like this pitch.
I've never been a huge fan of the drum sounds on,
except for Black Clouds. That album, the drums sound incredible. Which is the one with
except for the double bass, the double kick.
And you know why?
Because they didn't quantize it?
He won't let them edit it. He won't let them edit their drums. And it's so funny because like even Portnoy needs a little editing.
Yeah.
Because you can hear it's like they're a little sloppy. Like and that's because we're used to hearing 100% quantized. So you could argue that he's right. You want that human error, that element in there that makes it real. But we're used to hearing Whitechapel and these other bands where it's just 100% perfect. It could have been programmed, you know? And then you hear the real thing and you're like, well, that's not as perfect as this other thing. He must not be that good. It's like, no, he's probably way better. Like, it's just, you know, and what that does for me though, is I hear these little discrepancies and I'm like, oh, so all the other stuff that's ridiculous is also untouched. Like, he's just nailing it, you know? But then you hear these little flutters that are like, I don't know about that, man.
So we've talked a little bit about Iron Maiden. Really haven't gone into depth. I was like, you know, when I was in high school in the garage, sweating my ass off in the summer, playing my Maiden tunes with my buddies, you know. But I found a band called Angra because of that.
I know Angra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you listened to their cover of Number of the Beast or something?
It wasn't a cover. They just popped up on Pandora one day back when everyone listened to Pandora, and I was in like doing graphic design in high school or some shit. And I
loved Pandora.
I was like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I
think you showed me them before.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Dude, Temple of Shadows. Fuck yeah.
You definitely showed me that. I don't remember it, but you definitely showed me that. Yeah. And we also loved, we fell in love with the Winery Dogs together.
And Symphony X.
Symphony X, dude. Yeah. And we saw Winery Dogs at Amos's together. The old Amos's.
Which we play it all the time now, which is funny.
Right, same. Yeah, it's so crazy. And I can't remember for the life of me. Every time I'm in there, I try to remember what it was like when we were there, and I cannot remember it.
Well, the setup,
how it was different and how it was bigger, I do not remember.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to imagine it when you're looking at the new setup of it.
I just can't do it. I have no idea because at that time
basically
we were there,
it's missing one. It's missing a wall.
Yeah,
or it's gained a wall. If you took a wall out, you'd be reminded pretty quickly.
I don't even know, man, because like the only time I was there was that time,
right?
Once, and that poster for that show we were at is still up, hanging in there. I don't know if you've seen it. It's the Winery Dogs from 2014.
Yes, I have. It is still in there.
That same year, we went to Harrah's and saw Alice in Chains.
Yes, we did. And you remember we did the fanboy thing where we went by every hotel in the city,
trying to find them,
walking through every floor, listening through every door, hoping to hear some conversation that we might think Jerry Cantrell is having
dumb
with.
We were, dude. They're probably on their bus. Like
they were out of the city, dude.
Just left.
They were gone.
Just gone, man.
That just shows shows our youth.
Oh, that's so
our
sad.
naivety.
I remember playing Old Amos's. I used to play Old Amos's a good bit. Like
I'd only ever been. Well, see, we were from Columbia, so that wasn't like a hometown venue for us.
Yeah.
So like we had to make a trek to go see Winery Dogs at Amos's because that was the closest.
And it was worth it.
And this was them touring the first album, and that was when Richie played "Doing What the Devil Says to Do" by himself that night, which is the first time I heard that song.
Yeah, it's such
and that's what made
song.
me like that song. Was just
I like that song.
He has a solo moment every show, and he changes it up from show to show, and that's the one he played that night. And I like the song, but I didn't know it. So seeing him do it, I was like, oh, it's the same thing with the Prince tribute that we saw, which we should talk about that show. But let's back up. We played with our tribute band, Grind, Alice in Chains, we played a tribute festival. It's to date the biggest show I've played, and you as well?
It was a big show.
Yeah.
For sure.
But the biggest?
I honestly don't think I could say that. It might be.
Really?
It's up there.
Yeah.
It's definitely up there.
It was Oak Mountain Amphitheater, and that was in Huntsville, Alabama.
It may have been one of the biggest gigs that Grind ever played.
Could have been. 11,000 people.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't just Grind. It was a tour festival. The headliner was Kiss, a Kiss tribute.
Which is funny because that was not the biggest crowd attendance.
No, not the best one.
But the Prince tribute was amazing.
The Prince tribute was incredible, and it made me like Prince because I knew Prince before, and I liked some of his stuff, but I wasn't super into it. But I watched the Prince tribute, and the way that Prince's songs come to life on the stage is very different than how they are on the album, and it's a lot more rock, and that really spoke to me. And that's where I was like, okay, I like Prince a lot. And I remember specifically his Raspberry Beret. I saw that song come to life on stage.
I remember you singing that song a lot after that.
This is an incredible song. Yeah. We perform it to this day. Every gig, pretty much. Not original gigs, but when we do cover gigs.
Yeah.
I do 3 Prince songs, actually. We do Kiss, Raspberry Beret, and Purple Rain. And we do them as a little trifecta.
Right on.
And it's always a fun time.
Those guys make you feel starstruck at all?
What?
The tribute guys.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of weird if a tribute and they're doing their job if the tribute artist is making you feel starstruck?
Yeah. The U2 guys, I remember talking to them a little
bit.
Dude,
I love it when tribute guys have a chip on their shoulder and they treat you like shit, like they're the best thing.
So funny, dude. It's like you can't even legally sell merch.
Well, they're still in tribute. I mean, they're still in tribute. That's what they're doing, right?
Right.
They're still paying tribute.
They're just very, very accurate.
They're in character.
And then like they get back on the bus and they're like, and scene. All right,
and
let's go apologize.
Let's go be
to all
nice.
those people.
Let's go be nice to everybody. We need to sell some merch.
Whoa, shit, we can't. Never mind. Okay.
Fuck. All right, everybody come out on the bus.
Yeah.
Let's go 10 blocks away and we can sell merch.
Yeah. Who else was there? Rage Against the Machine was there. Chili Peppers.
The
Red Not Chili
Ozzy,
Peppers.
which I think I've seen 1,000 Ozzy tributes. They played right after us.
I don't remember that.
They were after us.
Maybe I do.
I think they had a Pearl Jam one, maybe.
I remember Rage and Red Hot Chili Peppers were both awesome.
Yeah, they were cool. They were cool. I think they didn't have a barricade until after we were played. So we went on, and then they put a barricade up.
Do you remember I had to sing the high part for Man in the Box, that show?
Yeah, I mean, I still watch the video sometimes.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, y'all got a video of that.
We did Man in the Box, and sometimes last minute we'd have to flip parts. And I'd sing the, yeah, and he'd sing the,
not me.
Or whatever. Yeah.
I ain't singing shit. I did the, toot, toot.
No, you did the,
shut. I did do that. The shut, and I did, toot, toot.
What's that?
From Again.
Oh, yeah, jeez. Well, I thought those were harmonics.
No, that was vocals.
I remember that riff. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that song kind of sucks, though, huh?
Nah.
I'm not a fan.
If Jerry ever sees this, take me on tour.
If Jerry ever sees this, again, was not your strongest work.
He knows this is going to be out there forever. We're just like, word vomiting.
But I'm not saying anything as I say this, I probably would cancel myself. But in this moment, I would stand by that. I would say, Jerry, you write a lot of good shit, but everything you write isn't gold. I'm sorry. Everything I write's great, too.
I'm sure he'd probably say the same.
Any human being alive is like, I write good stuff, I write bad stuff. I've released good stuff, I've released bad stuff. Again's not my favorite.
As long as it's getting released and people are hearing it.
Yeah. That whole album actually is not my favorite. But their two previous ones are incredible. So win some, you lose some.
I think it's time for more beer.
I think it's time for VIP. We're at an hour.
I'm actually not a drinker, so this is like the first beer I've had in probably
20, 30 minutes.
20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We went two different ways with that.
All right.
20 or 30 years.
Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to move over to the VIP. So the casual listeners, you got a hell of an episode today. Ethan Gibbons, everybody. That's a cute little bubble. Show that. Look at that.
Perfect. Make sure you don't edit that out.
Yeah, no, not at all. We're going to cut this whole thing out. I don't think we're actually even going to release it. But one more time, Ethan. Killakoi. Amazing stuff. Look in this camera right here. Tell everyone where they can go see you guys live. Maybe don't say what you have coming up because this is obviously evergreen. But 2 years from now, someone will watch it and be like, what? They're playing Amos?
Well, if people are interested in Killakoi,
pull out
that device that's in your pocket. Get your girlfriend's device, get your child's device. Go ahead and save it under all their devices. You can type in KILLAKOI, all one word. When you do that, there's going to be a list of videos, a list of different streaming platforms. If you go to any of them, we will be. Oh, is that Cubase? Look at that.
It is Cubase, yeah.
Check that out. That's not even Cubase 12, is it?
That's not the newest one. No, that's probably 10. Yeah, 10.5.
Damn, you guys like 2 behind.
Yeah, because I run Pro Tools like a professional.
Because he runs Pro Tools.
It's in the name.
What, the tool?
Yes.
I got the tool part. Yeah.
But yeah, so anybody who is interested in Killakoi, obviously, as this day and age and everything, you can type in Killakoi into whatever you are at. We actively release music. We're always trying to We're always doing. So feel free to join in.
Always doing.
All right, and I got really important questions on that.
One of the great Charlotte bands too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Happy to be in the same city.
So, where can people go to buy merch? Where can people go to support, donate? Because obviously gas is a bitch.
Yeah, well, if you guys are interested in buying any merch, we have a website, killakoi.com. It's our store is Shopify. So anybody who's familiar with Shopify at all, you can type in Shopify Killakoi, It's all there, and our merch is usually updated pretty frequently. Just as probably more often than we release music is we'll release more merch designs and stuff like that. So if you're interested in anything like that, well, you should probably before you buy the merch, go listen to the music, go watch the videos, and decide if you actually want to wear something like that on your body. And don't get a tattoo of it until you listen to the music.
They order the shirt and then listen to the song and go, "Oh, this blows."
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna return this shirt.
Yeah, because I don't need to deal with that.
One more funny story though about merch. Our drummer's mom was at a Goodwill shopping. What do you think she found?
An Osara shirt?
An LA Maybe shirt.
Oh, nice. And you guys are still in existence. That sucks.
So funny, man. I love that. Hopefully it was just the wrong size. But I love the idea that someone was like, I hate this band. And they like had to go to Goodwill.
It was probably like a really Christian family and they were looking at their son's shirts.
It was the Peace of Mind shirt.
LA Maybe?
It said it says I found myself at the river.
You see it at the bottom and they're like, well, let me look that up.
Right.
And all before you know it, like a JB, Jack Black, beginning of Kickapoo, fucking Pick a Destiny scene happens and the shirt's in Goodwill,
Right.
I listened to Beelzebub on the way up here.
Nice.
Beelzebub.
Very good.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Driz, how about we fade to black and say goodbye to all of our lovely listeners, and instead we move on to VIP time with the Vipers.
VIP time.
So what we're going to do, I think we're just going to tell some tour stories. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it. So we're letting the VIPers are knowing this right now. Yeah. We're saying this so that you guys can get a little jealous.
Yeah. So head on over to lamaybe.com/VIP and get in on these tour stories and get a little more of this forehead gleam. Sorry. All right.
Still hasn't gotten to 69 degrees in here.
Let's do this.
All right, let's do it.
We're 4 degrees away.
4 degrees away. Shit. Okay, we're back. Viper time. So So we do like a VIP section of the podcast where they get a full uncut version. So from here on out, it's like even more free because a lot less people will see it.
So I can cuss on this one?
You can cuss on that last one.
Well, we got to go back.
Shit, let's go back.
I got to throw in some bombs.
I'm just going to... Just give me like into the camera fuck.
All right, hold on. Fuck!
I have to just chop it and just randomly put it somewhere.
Let me give him one more word. Shit!
I was hoping it would be cunt.
I was really open for cunt too, dude.
I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking it. All right, I'll give him a C word.
We got a lot of British fans. Come on.
Yeah, they love cunt.
Cunt.
Oh, that was good. That was a nice little cute one.
Nice. Yeah, that was pretty cute. Yeah.
There's not a lot of volume with
just
that.
A little.
Okay,
so never say little and cute and cunt in the same second.
It's such a little cute cunt. My favorite compliment ever. Okay, so Scotland, Ireland, UK. Maybe Scotland the most. Top cunt. Like, oh, he's a top cunt. That's like a really nice thing to say. Like, he's a great guy.
Top Gun is a good guy.
Top Gun, yeah. Oh, shit.
Okay, the story that sticks out of my mind is me and Seth in the back trying to sleep, and you and Gary arguing for like 4.5 hours.
What were we arguing about? I'm sure there was plenty that me and that guy could argue about.
Any of us could, but I guess it's VIP. We could probably talk as much as we want. But it was when we were going to St. Louis, or we were in between somewhere in St. Louis, and more than once, someone said like, "All right, we're just going home. We're not going to the gig."
I know who said that. It wasn't me.
No, it was Gary.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you how he kicked me out?
Dude,
you stayed out. You stayed after us too. You're a loyal dude. You stuck
dude,
around.
I really, honestly, man, there was a point when we were in Louisiana that I was
not there.
That I really contemplated for a moment in my head whether or not I needed to assault this man and end the tour for myself, and then whether or not you guys would have my back and say, okay, the tour's over, or whether or not I'd have to find my way home. Yeah.
Where did we play in Louisiana?
We played in. I remember we played in Monroe, and we played in.
That sounds familiar.
And we played in.
That does sound familiar.
We were in Monroe and.
Oh, this was on the way to El Paso.
Lake Charles.
Lake Charles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So somewhere.
Wait, Lake Charles wasn't Illinois? What was the place we played
Lake Charles
up there?
in Louisiana.
What was the one we played up there that was Lake something?
In Illinois?
Indiana, Illinois, somewhere up in that area, I thought.
Oh yeah, we
stayed in that cabin.
We
stayed in that cabin.
I don't remember any lake. I don't remember necessarily any lake, but I know that his family was from up there.
Okay.
So it makes sense that we were up there at some point.
I don't remember. It was some little tiny hole in the wall biker bar, and we stayed in that, like, it was essentially an Airbnb, but I think it was a friend's cabin. And it was like really nice.
That was in Chicago.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah, that was in some lake out there.
It was like Lake something, and it was Illinois, I believe.
It was like one big lake, one of the big 5 lakes.
There's a million of them. Yeah, those are oceans, dude. What? I don't remember the Louisiana thing, but yeah, we would have had your back, dude.
But no, he
at that point,
he. I mean, there was just he acted out in some way, and I was just like, yo, like I with all the will in with all the power in my in my body right now, like I really want to end this tour. Like I really want to go home right now and leave you here.
It was in my car, so
exactly. But that was the thing. I'm like, it is my band. Like, I would hope that they would just go with me.
For sure. We probably, logically would have probably tried to just calm you down first.
Well, honestly, we finished the tour.
Yeah.
Because I was calm enough to
Which
make
is good, because we
decision.
did the El Paso gig, and that's a highlight.
Yeah.
That's a career highlight.
So that was, so, I mean, it was, in those instances, you gotta think before you act. I mean, if I didn't think about the fact that we needed to finish a tour and that
which is pretty
we're
impressive.
all out here on our own.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, it wasn't.
Some parts of that tour got rough, though, dude. Yeah,
for sure. I mean,
and when I say tour, everybody, it wasn't like we were gone for months. We would go for weekends, which is what most of us probably do now still.
Yeah.
Weekend runs, because a lot of us have to have day jobs and stuff, because that's just how it is right now. So, we teach music, you do your thing. So weekends are usually a good time to go tour and do runs through, 3 states or 1 state, or stay in your area, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
So that's basically what we're doing. So on this particular run, we had 2 Louisiana dates. We did Monroe, Lake Charles, and then El Paso. So who did the routing for this? My favorite routing was the very first one we did. We did Destin, Florida on Friday, and Bloomington, Indiana on the Sunday. We literally were standing on the beach on Friday and couldn't drive in snow on Saturday. It was the dumbest thing I've ever
That's how
heard.
few and far between people wanted to pay for us.
That theater we played, though, was a legit theater.
I'd been there several times.
I see
since
some
then.
big bands go through there.
I've been there a few times since then.
Yeah, what Night Theater? What's it called?
It was for anybody who's listening and familiar with the area, it's the Castle Theater in Bloomington.
Theater,
It's been there for a long time, and yeah, it's still pretty heavily frequented by touring bands.
Yeah, bigger bands like Buck Cherry and stuff like that.
I think Seven Dust still goes through there and stuff. So
sure,
yeah,
cool
so
place.
most bands will probably hit that if they're touring through the area.
So he told me at the very end, it was after the Akron run where we actually rented a van, and then we played Akron, and then we came home and played in that little place in West Columbia right across from New Brooklyn. You remember that?
The Conundrum.
Yes, no way that's still there.
No.
That probably folded as we were walking out.
And if it
the
is,
door.
you guys feel free to leave a comment.
Yeah. As we're stepping out the door, they're like, by the way, we're closed forever. One of those. But
it was like Tremont the last time we played Tremont.
Yeah. We played Tremont, not Osara, but
I was at Tremont right before it closed too.
Yeah.
I don't remember why I was there.
I played
though.
there in probably 2010.
Okay, so I have to ask if you remember a Charlotte area band called Fall of Ashes.
Fall of Ashes sounds like a not to be rude. Or anything,
no, please say it. No, say it.
It sounds kind of generic, and I may have seen that name, but I don't really
remember
recall.
Fusebox Poet?
Yes. Actually,
I love Fusebox Poet.
They're the Violent. Well, not them, but
True.
Pat is in the Violent. He went to Red Sun Rising.
Pat's in Red Sun, right? And he's not anymore?
Red Sun Rising's disbanded. The Violent is what exists now from that. And they've been.
I don't know them, but I'm
music.
good friends with Drew. He did some work with us. We've worked with him in the past, and he's a really cool guy. Drew's the one that hooked us up with the racing game people.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, really cool guy. He was their singer. He tours with Simplified, actually, as Keys and stuff. They're kind of a reggae-ish band, but they're huge. They're pretty big. They did the train cruise every year or something so they do some big stuff. They have 50,000 Facebook
wait to play the cruise though.
Oh yeah, we're playing a cruise. That'll be fun.
You guys are on Shiprocked?
Nah, Carnival. It's like a Carnival cruise. We're not doing covers.
I mean, that's fucking badass.
We're not doing Carnival. We're not doing covers or anything. It's like a full rock cruise, but it's not one of the big name ones or anything. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's basically a vacation that we get to play 2 shows on and then get paid and then also have no expenses. So that's a good way to stay on the road for a week and not lose money.
On the road, on the water.
Yeah.
Going to Mexico, man.
Yeah, Cozumel and one other place that I don't
Are you
remember.
playing anywhere when you get to Mexico?
No, it's just like a 5-day booze cruise basically probably.
Right.
So
it's gonna be fun at least,
It's gonna be really fun.
Wild.
But back to Gary, he called me. I'm sitting at my desk. Remember the studio desk in the house, house. I'm sitting there at the desk. He calls me like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I didn't know anything was wrong. He talks for a minute. Everything seems fine. I think I'm going to do this. And I go, okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds good, man. Well, let me know, whatever. And then he goes, and that's why I don't want to work with you anymore. And I was like, I just remember being completely like, I remember literally just cocking my head like, did I miss like a whole lot of words? Like, what? Just like, I was paying attention to the phone call, dude, and I have no idea what could have possibly been said that led to that I just missed. Like, I like to think I'm a decently smart guy. I'm like, I just like couldn't follow this guy's logic at all, man. Like,
that's good.
And he ended up saying like I disrespected his girl who did tour with us, and
you disrespected his girl?
I didn't. I'm just kind of a quiet person. And
Well,
so when
how
somebody
dare
like
you, bro?
when somebody's like, you know, joyous and stuff, I'm like, oh, cool. You know, I'm polite, but I'm not usually going to hit them with that same energy. If you're a big bubbly person like Paul Hill, right? Big bubbly person, I'm a little more subdued, and until you know you get to know me, and then I'll come out a little more. But new people, like I'm pretty shy and held back a little bit. And I guess she took that as he doesn't like me, which, to be fair, many people have before. And it's almost
what
never
were
the
your
case.
Feelings?
What were my feelings?
Yeah.
Literally, this is honestly maybe meaner than being aggressive. No opinion. Absolutely could not give two shits about
you
this person.
Asshole.
That's maybe meaner than being mean. But I'm never mean. I'm always polite and nice and you know, that kind of thing, especially to strangers and stuff, which is kind of backwards, I guess. But
yeah, I'm really nice to people who
you were
try to
on
give
the
me
road.
lollipops.
You were there
and
the
ice
whole
cream.
time. Seth was there the whole time. If you go back in your memory, I definitely didn't do anything worthy of like, you're fired for offending my girl. Like, even if there was maybe like nothing, you know, but it ended up working.
Well, I mean,
out.
it was. I don't really recall anybody else being there besides the four of us for the most part.
She was there the whole run. But to
For
be
which
fair,
one?
it was the very last one that
them.
I was on. So it was Akron. We did Ripper's Rock House, and then Conundrum, and that was the weekend.
She was there. Oh, okay.
She was there at least for the Akron run because we rented the van.
I remember.
And we lost money.
Yeah.
We didn't get paid a lot.
Story of my life.
We made a lot of money and didn't see a lot of money.
Right. I remember we got asked about that sometimes too. Like,
yeah.
Y'all make any money? Hell yeah, we made a lot of money.
How much did you make? $0. Shouldn't you ask him about that? Yes, we should.
Yeah, we should. I think we'll be okay. We're only 20 years old.
And then I went into a Journey tribute and the same fucking thing happened. Dude, we played our first show.
I don't remember a Journey tribute with you.
No, you weren't in it.
I know. I don't remember you doing a Journey tribute though.
It was brief.
Do I?
It was brief. It was a lot of preparation and rehearsals, and I only played like 2 or 3 shows with them. But built this whole show. It was pretty cool. First show, we went up to Milwaukee, did the Northern Lights Theater, which is inside of a casino up there. Potawatomi. Hey, I remember the name of the casino. Nice. I couldn't remember it yesterday. Northern Lights Theater, it's like a 550 cap room. And we sold it out. First show ever as this band. It's a Journey tribute. You have the marquee value. People are going to buy tickets. You know, it's not yay on us. Just fact. We sold it out. Made like 10 grand. How much do you think Dallas got paid?
0.
That's a great guess, dude.
Story of my life.
Yeah, man. So, and then a couple other things, and that was the biggest. It was a great show, though, man. And we built this whole thing. It was the first time I'd ever messed with clicks and tracks live. So I had it. I don't think we actually had any tracks, but I had a couple different moments that I'd made that I synced to video. So we had a screen. So like when we played Faithfully, I synced the track, our click track, to the music video. Or rather, I synced the video, because Faithfully's, I found out, is not recorded on a click at all. They're all over the place in that song. And I chopped it up and would cut here and stretch 2%, and cut here and stretch 1%, and I did that for the whole video, and ended up having the whole video on a click. So when we played the song, the video would play behind us. And it's a cool video. It's like, you know, Steve Perry singing and all this stuff, and anytime Steve Perry would sing, our guy would sing, and it like matched. It's a really cool moment. For Don't Stop Believin', I made like a lyric video that would play with us so everybody could sing along, because it's a big sing-along one. And I had all these cool little
for all the
moments and
people that
stuff.
don't know the lyrics to that one.
Right. You'd be surprised.
No,
Our singer was one of them. Not Goliath, the singer for the Journey tribute. Which, by the way, I should say, was not Goliath, actually. That's a little bit of a
interesting,
not accurate thing when we say that we started from a Journey tribute. Goliath was a part of the band that became the Journey tribute, but was not actually a part of the Journey tribute. So that's worth saying here, I guess. But while we're talking about it,
and I wasn't in it at all.
You weren't in it at all. No, we met much later.
Yeah.
Rasan wasn't either. It's how I met Foz and Goliath.
Yeah.
That's how. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. What else happened on some grind stuff? We didn't play that many shows. It was the summer of 2014.
Yeah, it was
And we
roughly probably
played
about a handful of shows. Probably
less than
10 maybe. Yeah. What else happened?
2, 3, 4 weekends maybe. I remember one thing.
Honestly, not much happened.
Remember I had my EVH 5153?
Oh, yeah.
And we tested it. We tested it, the volume, and you ran down to the mailbox. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We're like shaking the house. I'm in there with like headphones, like, oh my God. Like I had the half stack, and I didn't want to bring the half stack, dude. It's too much. I'm already too lazy at that age. Like now I just bring the Quad Cortex in the backpack. It's great. But I brought my little Line 6 out, which is a killer amp. It surprised people how good that amp was. You remember all the cover gigs we do?
Oh yeah, I know. People are like,
so many people come up and be like, "What amp you play?"
Yeah.
I'm like this. They're like, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
I'm like, "That's it, dude." Like,
it's amazing. Line 6 did something right for that.
It was the
amp for a
Spider
while.
Jam, dude. It's like a $300 amp.
A lot of people had it.
Yeah,
$300.
And I had that thing dialed in. Also, it's funny. I still have that amp somewhere. I think it's at Ashton's house.
I think there's 2 of them at our studio.
It's missing like half the knobs, and it does this weird thing where if you play at any sort of volume, I guess it vibrates. And the stuff inside is either broken or really sensitive, and it'll just randomly change parameters when you're playing. So, like, I'll be, for example, if you...
Maybe it's a tube amp.
You know what I love about tube amps?
The secret of that amp, after all.
Yeah. I love how they just will stop working. That's my favorite part. I love how you have to carry them like they're a small child. I don't like any of that. But so if you have like the channel volume, they had the master volume and the channel volume. If you had the channel volume like sitting here, and then you change to a preset, the knob's still here, but the preset makes it here, but the knob's still there. Well, the amp would vibrate, and if you change any of those parameters, it would jump.
Oh.
So like I'm sitting here playing, and all of a sudden my amp would just double in volume.
I remember that. I had a Spider 2, dude. The like
I had a
60
Spider 3
watt.
was my first amp. The one with the 2 speakers.
Yeah, I had a Spider 2, and that was my first amp. I had a Telecaster and a Spider 2.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Line 6 has kind of cornered that market, or they had, unlike beginner, like before you know what an amp is. Like they nailed
But now like everyone has like one of those amps. Like Fender has the GT series,
Right.
and
Line 6
Blackstar
started,
has
right.
like their shit.
I had the little Blackstar battery one, the HT60. That thing was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to sit in my car and practice with that.
So yeah, I mean, dude, those I bought, and I remember I got my first guitar and my first amp from Guitar Center in Pasadena, California, just like northern LA County. And yeah, man, that was wild. I used to go into that guitar vault. Do you remember the vaults? They'd have the vaults with like the expensive guitars, really nice amps.
I tried to avoid music stores.
Yeah, I'd go into the vault and I'd just like plug into whatever fuck amp I am. I'm young and I can't hardly play like GD and C, you know. Just crank it and just start just
as loud as you
fucking hitting notes, dude.
You're everybody's favorite person on like a $5,000
I was like 12 years old, you know.
Oh god,
it's like there's a vault you can go in and be as loud as
I've had a lot of bad experiences in music stores. One,
bro,
this is another one
before
I just thought about.
Before you go
ahead.
further, you guys got a piss bucket in here? I see you got this door chained up so much that like getting out of it's going to require access from the president. But I can pee in the corner.
I mean, we have this.
I have a beer bottle, and I have this bottle.
That's
there you go.
Better bottle, dude. I'm gonna cut to Dallas.
That's roughly the size.
And stare at Dallas,
Yeah.
dude. Here's a first for the podcast.
Okay, this is great. We're breaking records. This is also looking like it's gonna be the longest one. Music stores.
Should I do it next to the mic so it's
dude? Yes.
This is gonna be hyper compressed.
Yeah, dude.
So we did.
No, nobody can see. That's blacked out, dude.
Now do it right in this camera right here.
Oh, we're gonna get this on mic.
This is VIP for real.
This is VIP shit. This is rock star living in a van.
So I go in a music store. I grab an acoustic guitar. Grab it, just pick it up. I don't even think I play a note. There he goes. I don't even think I play a note. I just have it in my hands.
Hold on one sec. We gotta enjoy this for a second. Let me angle the mic.
All right. Well, I mean, we have to sit here and witness it.
I mean, I'm not looking. I'm just angling the mic to where I hear the sound more.
He's hiding too good.
I don't want it to slip out.
Dude, I have to pee so bad.
You gotta piss too.
I've had to pee.
We're gonna have to end this podcast.
We will soon for sure.
What? There's a cap on the table here. Here. I'm not looking. Just. I mean, maybe like because
that's pretty gross. I don't even think I can look at that.
Piss out and shit.
I'm gonna gag.
Should we put it on camera? You're pretty hydrated. That's like
I'm gagging,
a piss
dude.
to not be embarrassed about.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I've had so much water today, dude. My pee was completely clear. Put it on camera. Let's see it.
All right, let's see it. Here we go.
Oh, you can't see it.
I'm holding this piss jug, by the way. Here we go. That's just beer.
I only got
pretty much beer.
I only got a little bit on the side.
Yeah. Okay. Good. As he's sitting here like, oh.
It's the most rock and roll thing that's ever happened on this podcast.
So I'm in a music store. I grab an acoustic guitar. I don't play anything. I just grab it, and the guy comes up, puts a hand on my shoulder, and goes, "Let's not touch it if we're not going to buy it."
That's what she said.
You had that locked and loaded, dude. I was probably 15, 16, but I wasn't a little douche. Like I could play.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was so infuriating. Never went back. Fuck that guy. Like, how am I supposed to know if I want to buy it? Like,
he just, we've all had bad music store experiences.
I've only had pretty much only bad experiences.
But I think some of us in life have developed like a little bit tougher skin.
Mm-hmm.
And
imagine how the employee feels.
Yeah, can you imagine how he's like, that's my commission. If this little fuck scratches it.
I should have just taken the guitar and just smashed it over his head and walked out. Here's your fucking guitar.
Oh, shit.
Fuck you.
So
As a 16-year-old.
I got banned for life from ESP.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's probably for the better, though.
Yeah. I honestly don't know why. But
they wrote you a letter that was like, you can no longer play guitars that aren't that good. You can only play better guitars.
Sahaj sent me on his behalf to ESP. So I actually almost fucked up for Sahaj. But I don't know what I did. All I know is that I was in good spirits that day. And after I'd done my task and I came back to Sahaj, he introduced me with an email. And that email said that I was banned for life from ESP with no explanation. But I was just like, well,
just reply good or thank you.
All I know is that Sahaj worked long and hard to get his ESP sponsorship, and for whatever reason, that almost sealed the deal on not happening.
Ugh.
So I have really good experiences with like Sam Ash and
I don't
and Walmart.
Okay.
So with Sam Ash, I got a really nice Marshall there.
Oh, that's a good story. Oh, so every box I've ever ordered from Sam Ash online has showed up just looking like it was hit by the truck instead of delivered by it. Like it's like the worst music store, dude. Like
Sam Ash.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Like no, you were supposed to put it on the truck,
now,
not under the truck. You idiot! Like just sitting here, like dude, it's like it's so bad. But yeah, tell the story of the Marshall 50 whatever white little boy, whatever it's called.
The Mark II Studio.
Mark II Studio. We're gonna call it the little white boy.
The little white boy. Yeah, it is a little white boy.
It's a little white
actually, it's a girl.
I've never seen a Mark in a white amp. I've never seen a white Mark amp.
You got to see it. I'll show it to you afterwards.
Marshall Mark II Studio.
Dude, I'll just show it to him in person afterwards.
Oh, true.
Or is this for the?
Up. It doesn't exist.
So mine's the head.
And then you go inside and look
that one there.
And then you go inside and look at yours. It's also black. You're like, oh my god.
My head is very rare. Yeah.
Oh, it looks nice.
That's some rare
Tell
head.
the story, Driz.
Yeah, so I went to Sam Ash, and this was the week before I bought it. I was like, dang, this sitting in the used section doesn't have a scuff on it. I'm like, no tag either. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like, this is like one of them those $1,200 like new amps. It's a $1,400 amp, but no tag. I was like, it's one of those expensive like new little studio amps.
Right.
So I asked the employee there how much it cost. It was a chick, and I was just, hey, what's this cost? Is this used? She's like, yeah, I'll get back to you on that. And she walks off, never comes back. And I waited like 30 minutes, and I'm just like
Sam Ash
playing,
Hashtag
and I'm like, okay,
store.
whatever. I'm just gonna leave. Like I don't have a ton of money right now, so I probably shouldn't even like entertain the idea. Right. So I come back a week later, and it's still there.
That in and of itself
in the
is pretty
used
crazy.
section, no scuffs, no tags. It's been a week. It never got tagged. So like, what? I don't know what the employees are doing, because it's not like Sam Ash was
Hashtag Sam Ash. Hashtag music store.
right. And so, anyways, I plug into it, and I just start playing it. I'm like, oh my god.
I know what happened.
Sounds amazing.
They were stuck in meetings debating whether they were going to mark it up 600% or just make it around 1,000%.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, exactly. So
you guys really just don't want any dealings with Sam Ash anymore.
Nope, I'm good.
Well, I won't be going there anymore, and you'll find out here in just a moment.
You're hearing the story. No, we aggressively do not want any dealings.
At least not the Charlotte location.
Clarify that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I go in a week later, I plug it up. Sounds amazing. I'm like, fuck, dude, this thing sounds great. It's probably out of my price point.
A good little amp.
It's, again, looks perfect, and it's in the used section. And so I asked the guy, I was like, it was a guy this time. I was like, hey, how much is this going for? He was like, oh, let me go check. And I'm sitting there just playing away, and he comes back. He's like, yeah, it's going for $249.99. And
I thought I know the story.
I'm in my head like, oh shit.
They fucked up.
Oh shit.
You're about to walk out of it with it.
And so anyways, well, I'm a decent person. Like, I was like, okay, I'm not going to act like overly overjoyed. And I'm just like chilling there. I'm like, let me think about it for a little bit. He has time to go realize his mistake. And so I play it for probably another like 15 or 20 minutes. And then I walk up and I'm like, yeah, how much was it again? Pulls it back up. He's on the computer. Has a chance to realize he's made a mistake. $249.99. I'm like,
I'll buy it right now.
That sounds like a good price. I think I'll take it. And so anyways.
This is a $1,400 amp.
Now there's...
I know it's not $250.
Now there's $1,600.
But this was a used one that was no visible signs of anything.
Thought it was used. It was never used. They just never tagged it when they brought it out on the floor.
So it was technically not used at all. A new amp.
Yeah, brand new amp. Yeah. So they never tagged it when they brought out, and I'll get into that part. So I end up buying the amp, and I go to Larry, who runs the store, walk by him, and I hold up my receipt because they check your receipt on purchases. And he's like, no, you're good. I was like, okay. Walk out. I get a call a month later because they have my phone number.
It was a month later?
It was a month later.
I thought it was like that week.
No, it was a month later, dude. Legit a month later. And it was the employee that sold me the amp. Obviously, he's able to look back sales. They always ask for your phone number.
Right.
My phone number's in the system. He's like, yeah, dude, we're doing inventory, and I sold you the wrong amp. I was like, that sucks, dude.
Like, you sold me the one I wanted.
I was like, dude, that sucks. And anyways, he was just like, yeah, so I'm going to need you to bring it back, and we'll either give you your money back or you can get something of equal value.
Oh, man. So that's like bad business.
That shit's already sold, my homie.
Yeah.
Good luck on finding that.
What's the phrase for that? Maybe a little offensive. I think it's called Indian giving.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Say, dude, I capitalized on your mistake so hard, I walked right out of your store and made $1,200.
Dude, right? But anyways, so I was just like...
you can't do that, dude. If you realize that, you have to just be like, oh well.
Yeah.
Like, you can't call the guy and ask. That's ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah, so anyways, I was just like, well, I mean, I bought the amp fair and square. I mean,
You did absolutely nothing wrong. Except maybe that you knew.
Well, I didn't know exactly how much it cost, but I knew it was like one of those new amps because I had seen something about it.
Right.
I didn't know what it cost, but I knew it was like over $1,000.
Still not on you.
In my head, like honestly, in my head, I was thinking it was like a $1,200 amp.
Right.
And so, anyways, he ends up, saying, yeah, well, I was like, well, dude, I mean, it's a used amp. He's like, no, it's not a used amp. It's a brand new amp. We never labeled it. We put it out on the floor.
I heard a lot of you in that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear a lot of me.
Yeah,
so
right?
why don't you go label amps right?
Exactly.
And you can end this call.
And you can lose my number after this.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the manager of the store should have caught this. He sits at the front. Like, why aren't you walking your store, like, making sure shit's in the right place? Like, managing your store. Like,
I didn't know. So you told me the story. I didn't know about the week between the times you visited. And I didn't know about the...
I've told it to you. It's minor details, though, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't remember that, and I don't remember the... there's another element that I don't remember that was crazy to me just now.
Gotcha.
How about the fact that he got a phone call from Sam Ash a month after he bought an amp?
Yeah.
Don't call me.
Yeah.
About anything. I'll call you. If something's wrong, I'll call you.
Okay.
You don't call me for anything.
Okay, so it gets even better. So I'm just like, he's like, I'm going to need to bring it back. And so told me he'd either give me my money back or something of equal value. And I was like, dude, I've already started tracking songs with this amp. I was like, this is important to me. I can't just give it back to you. He was like, well, then you can just pay the difference. I was just like,
okay.
I already bought the amp. I have the receipt. And so anyways, I was just like, I'm going to need to talk to your manager. I knew it was going to be Larry. He's like, this is verbatim what he said. He's like, Larry had a heart attack like a week ago, and I don't want to stress him out or anything like that. I was just like, okay. All right, so, well,
talk to you later.
There's nothing I can do about that. and he's just like, okay, well, I mean. Okay.
Oh, so that's what was happening.
So
he was trying to not get in trouble.
He ended up, exactly. Yeah. So he ended up hanging up the phone. And then 5 minutes later, I get a call from Sam Ash again. I answer. I knew it was going to be Larry. Who the fuck was it? It was fucking Larry. And Larry was like, hey, I understand my employee just reached out to you and blah, blah, blah. And you said you weren't going to give it back, just, was thinking you might do the right thing.
The guilt trip.
Me do the right thing. Yeah, sorry. He's like, it was labeled, blah, blah, blah. I was like, it wasn't labeled. I said, go back and watch your cameras from that day. Like, please go back and watch your cameras. He was just like, I was like, there's no label. It was sitting in the used section. This was not like, it was sitting in the used gear section, dude. Like, learn your fucking store. Yeah. And so anyways, he's just like, yeah, I figured it'd be this way. I told him it'd probably be like this too. You're just not doing the right thing.
It would be like that for anyone.
Yeah. And so anyways, I was like, dude, I understand this sucks. This sucks for me too. I'm using this amp now. We've already started tracking album 2. We'd already done
Down to Fight
and Long Road. Yeah. And we're using that amp, and that's going to be the amp used on the rest of album 2 that I use. Because it sounds great and it's fucking awesome. And so anyways, I was like, dude, this is
your amp at this point.
It's already my amp. And so anyways,
why would I give you my amp?
He's just he was just like, well, here's the best deal I can give it to you for.
You already did, man.
You
already gave me a sick fucking deal.
I got it.
I jumped at it.
I guarantee you can't beat the deal you already gave it to me for, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes, I can give it to you for like $1,200. And I was just like,
give it to me. It's in the back of my car.
I was like, Larry, what did you pay for the amp? And then I hear him like clicking. I hear the typing. He's like, all right. But the best deal, 11, like 11 something. I was just like, no, Larry, I didn't ask how much you could discount it for me. I said, how much do you have in the amp? And he was just like, well, and I was like, Larry, dude, let me guess. You have somewhere around $700 in this amp.
$600, yeah.
And he was like, yeah, probably about somewhere right there. I was like, dude, stop fucking with me, dude. I understand retail. Like, yeah. and honestly, I'm mad at this point.
Do you think you would have felt any better if he just called you straight up and he said, hey, man, I made a mistake and I'm really going to get in trouble for this. Do you think you could help me out and either bring the amp back, or do you really just feel like he came at you in such a way that he was just already out the gate and wrong by the way he approached you?
So I asked him, here's how it came across. They never were like, we're going to get in a bunch of trouble. It was always inventory, and you can either have your money back or get something of equal value. And then it turned into, we'll cut you. We'll cut you a deal then on it. Yeah. And it was just like, dude, I already own it. I have the receipt. Like,
I bought the amp.
I bought the amp. And so anyways,
this is a you problem.
Yeah. And so anyways, I was like, okay, so he's like, yeah, somewhere probably around 700. I was like, here's what I'm willing to do so I have a clean conscience. I said, I'm willing to come for the next, I don't know, I can't do it this month or next month, but probably the following month, and pay off what you have in the amp so it's not a total loss for you. I said, out of the kindness of my heart, y'all fucked up. Y'all didn't label it. Your employee screwed up. You sold me the amp at that price. I'm not, I don't have to do this. And so anyways, he was just like, we don't make those kind of negotiations. And he said it so antagonistic. It was almost like I don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yes.
That's the way it came across to me.
End of the fucking phone call. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's the way. That's the way it came across to me. Well, I mean, I was like,
I wouldn't have answered the second call.
So
but it is entertaining. You kind of want to see where this goes.
The story's good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I answer because I'm not in the wrong, dude. Like, I'll talk.
No,
to them.
I wouldn't have answered because I felt like I was in the wrong. I wouldn't have answered because I didn't want to deal with this conversation.
Well, I mean, I want to give, I did get a crazy good deal, and I
Okay,
truly
but
was
pause though,
honest.
real quick. This is also the guy that goes to Walmart and picks out a backpack that's like $60 and goes to the self-checkout and scans it. It rings up for like $4.99, like $5. And he goes, okay. And he buys it and he walks out. And that's the bag you toured Europe with.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a $60 hiking bag you got for $5.
You're just scoring deals, man.
Yeah, dude.
He's
it was fully tagged and everything. It had like the thing you have to cut, like you have to cut it off.
Yeah.
And it was fucking on the backpack. And I scanned that tag. Didn't have any pictures or anything to make me think it wasn't that backpack. I just scanned it and it said $4.99 or $5.99 was the price. I was just like, well, it's fucking Walmart.
Okay, see, you have that kind of luck. The kind of luck that I have is I'd see the bag and it would say $55, $60, let's say, and I'd go, okay, I'll take this one. And I'll go up there and I'll scan it and I'll ring up for $120. And I'll be like, what? And the lady be like, oh, I guess it was just sitting in the wrong spot. I'm sorry. And I'd be like,
yeah.
That's my luck.
All right, so I'll finish out the story.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
This is juicy. So anyways, after him coming off antagonistically towards me, like, you're not a good person, it was what he was saying. Essentially by saying, I thought you'd be a good person and I'm not going to negotiate with you when I'm trying to make them break even. Like, I legitimately said that.
That was pretty helpful on your part.
Yeah.
I would never have done that.
Well, I
personally.
Well, out of because I know I got a good deal on it.
Yeah.
Retardedly good deal.
Yeah.
And
$1,000 off.
Yeah. No, like $1,150 off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so anyways, I was just like, that's what I said. And he was so antagonistic towards me. And he was just like, we're not going to be able to make that deal. I'm not going to be able to make that work.
Okay.
And
then
it's
you
just
say,
like,
sir, you're not getting anything.
And you say, no, we're not. And you hang up
No,
like a badass.
I didn't. And he's just like, oh, well, I guess, we're just going to.
Why does he think he
gonna
has
be
the
any skin in this game at all?
Why does he somehow think he has the cards?
And I even told him, I was like, dude, I own the amp.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to do this. I told
how
him
much
that.
work I have
I was
to do
like,
to go bring it back to you.
Dude, you should have
you
you should have sold it back to him for $1,400.
I'll sell it back to you. Yes. Say no. I'm gonna go sell the Guitar Center right now.
I'll sell you for $1,200 right now. I'm taking Guitar Center for $1,100. You're a fucking bet right now. We can play this game all day, buddy.
I'm gonna sell it back to Guitar Center. Come back by 2 more amps.
Yeah, right. No, so
you better have them labeled, buddy.
Yeah. We'll keep playing this game. It's like a pyramid. What's going on here?
There goes the mic.
What's going on here?
There goes the mic. All right, I'm gonna cut.
So anyway, this guy clearly he calls the cops on you. He had your house raided.
No, he can't do that. I mean, because
he has nothing in the game.
It would have been really funny if he tried to pursue that, and how quickly someone would have been like, "What?
Well, what would have happened was the cops would have come and checked you out, and they would have seen. It would have literally they seen your receipt. They would have said to the guy, "Yo, this is his amp. Why are you calling about us?"
Yeah, you sold it to him. Well, so he
and
knows,
if it went to court, I would have said, "Look at all."
The judge would have said, "This is his amp. He's got a receipt."
Yeah,
it would never have gone to court.
It's the same receipt I walked out with the date and everything. It would match up with the cameras. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
He was just hoping that he could kind of strong arm you into it.
Yeah,
and he couldn't.
Well, I don't feel bad for Larry because he's fucked with me before.
I still think he should go back to Sam Ash, though.
It sounds like he didn't have much good charisma coming into that conversation.
Yeah.
No.
Well, so anyways, he was just like, I thought you'd be a decent person, and I'm not going to make deals with you.
That's so annoying.
And it's just like, okay, all right, well, I guess we're done. Bye.
And then he hangs up the phone and realizes
they call back 10 minutes later.
Ugh.
Never answered. I was like, I'm done. No, when someone treats me like that, and I try to like be the better person,
that's pretty bad. Yeah.
Like. And they still have the gall to be like, I'm not negotiating with terrorists. That's literally like, if I said what he had said to me to one of you in the same situation, you'd have been like,
what'd you say?
Oh, it hung up the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, Yeah, it was
halfway through the conversation.
It was one of those.
Like, wait, who is this? Just start fucking with him like you have no idea what's going on.
So this is like one of my previous experiences was buying an eye lock there, and I go up
Those
to
are
Larry.
like $50.
Yeah, well, I was like, "Can you Amazon price match this?" Yeah, we Amazon price match, and then he Amazon price matches it, and it's lower than what their distributor charged them for the actual unit.
Right.
He's like, "Well, you can't be doing this, like blah blah blah." I was like, you guys say you Amazon price match, and you're mad at me for asking for it." He's like, "I'm gonna sell it to you, but like this is not right." And I was like, "Well, then deal with it on your end and make sure your distributor gets it to where it's a price you can." Why are you getting mad at me?
So he's mad at you for being a big
This was
box
way
store.
before. This was way before that ever happened.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's been my experience with Larry.
Can't get mad at me for the business that you run, dude. Like, that's you chose a shit business that's getting pushed out by Amazon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel bad for a lot
Imagine
of guitar
the rent
stores.
on that place, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, guitar stores are awesome, but some of them suck. Like that Sam Ash.
You have to go,
Used to
I
be
think,
cool
to
back in the
smaller
day.
boutique stores to get a good, or like famous ones like Chicago Music Exchange and stuff.
Well, I only go to 2 now in the Carolinas,
Midwood.
and that's Midwood Guitar Studios, and massive shout out to Midwood Guitar Studios.
You were in their shirt.
And then also
last podcast.
Yeah, last podcast or the podcast. I've worn it a couple times on podcasts, and then I also go to Woody's of Fort Mill.
Yeah, I love
They're
it.
awesome
Shout out
as well.
Gary Green.
You can go to
Yeah,
NAMM.
that's right.
NAMM's got all the stuff and all the rock stars. I met Nico McBrain at NAMM.
Seth was just jamming with him. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
That's
I
pretty
saw
crazy,
that he was with
How annoying is
and-
that? 2 drummers jamming.
Well, I
Is there anything more annoying?
you gotta going back to Nico
One's already too many.
Nico being really about the drums. I imagine he's not doing that for money. He must really like the youth and teaching and sharing in the love of that.
For sure.
A love of all that, because like you said, 2 drummers playing like the Trooper, a song you've been playing for 40 years, and now you got to hear all these guys come in and play it. Either already now maybe I'm just sounding grumpy, but for me, I'd be like,
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I'll
want to play the Trooper?
I'll come and I'll watch.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking sit back there and have someone play over top of me.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a great experience. My experience with him wasn't anything like that, but it was fun. I just met him very casually. He just kind of walked up next to me, or I walked up next to. Actually, I recognized the back of him. That's how big of an Iron Maiden fan I am. Right? Yeah. He was wearing his boots, his jeans, his button-up shirt, his paisley button-up shirt, and I saw the back of him, and I was with my buddy Michael Russo, and I was like, look, he's sitting right fucking next to me.
Michael's a drummer. It's worth saying.
Yeah. I was like, who's? And we were actually walking through. I can't remember who the drum company was, but one of the drum company's setups, and yeah, he was just there, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be that guy.
That's what any
but first of all,
this person wants to be approached that way. I'm gonna be that guy. They're like, please don't. You don't have to be.
First of all, you should know this about me is I don't do this to anybody. Like I've met so many people that I don't have any picture with. I can never prove it, so you just have to take my word for it. I met these people, but for a member of Iron Maiden, I was like, hey,
make an exception.
I was like, you mind if I get a picture with you? And he's like, sure, mate. When's lunch? And I was like, oh,
how the fuck would I know?
I was like, oh,
he thinks I work here.
I was like, he wants to take me to lunch. That's so pretty. It's so nice.
I don't know. So this happened after we were hanging out all the time. So I don't know if I ever told you, but I played a gig with Duff, and it took.
I think I saw that. I did see that.
It took me till the very end of the night when everyone was leaving to ask for a picture. I'm that much against asking for pictures, and I only did it after literally everyone else. And dude, I felt it took everything I had to be like, can I get a picture? Like, I can't explain like how hard that was for me to ask. I just felt
if it ever comes
like an inconvenience.
If it ever comes to me and someone wants to everybody ever wants to get a picture with me, absolutely, I am all welcome to it. Just because I'm saying that now, I'm only saying that as like perceiving other people have been doing it for 50 plus years, and the one time I'm gonna ever run into these people. But absolutely, if you ever want to get a picture with me, anytime we ever hang out or meet, come get a picture with me. Dude, I got a picture of you right now.
Just I'll take a picture of you. How about that? And then I'll have you on my phone.
That's what's about to happen.
All right. Oh shit! It's about to get real.
Oh, that's facing me. Got one of D.
Egotistical fuck.
And I got one of Dur.
D and Dur. Da. I'm Da and you're Dur.
You gotta get one of me. Yeah. Right on, gotta do it for the gram.
Do it for the gram.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to see something I got sent through Snap?
Hell
yes.
Yeah.
What is this?
One of those bot accounts.
Do I get to see?
Yeah, you can watch.
It's a decent bot account, anything. You know.
Your thumb's in the fucking way, dude. What are you doing? Oh, bots. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's still going.
What's that bot's number?
What else are we gonna get?
Wait, did you just get this?
Yeah, I'm just now opening it. I figured I'd share.
Welcome
with you
to
guys.
Opening Snaps Live.
I figured I'd share.
Oh yeah, it keeps going. Yeah.
Okay. There's more. I will say, for those of you imagining what we're looking at, it's not near as bad.
It's still going.
Whatever you're imagining, it's not that bad. Clothes are on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, don't smile and laugh. Don't do that. And definitely don't talk.
Yeah, with the accent too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I found you.
She's saying things like, Putin is awesome. Wait a second.
I found you on Insta. Yeah, I'm sure.
Wait a second.
I'm sure you went to my Instagram account and said,
I think I'm being bamboozled here.
This just keeps going.
It smells like a bamboozle.
Yeah,
this is too long, dude.
I know.
Why does she think I have the patience? There we go.
Oh, no, it's still going.
Oh, okay. Why does she think I have that kind of patience?
Wow.
Well, I don't know what makes them think that there's patience for this.
Still,
but it just keeps coming in.
They're fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not fun at this point.
Yeah.
Really?
No. Still no.
It's over. Wait. They have words. There's words. Let's see what the words are.
Oh, God.
Okay. Should I read these words out?
You should read these words. Here we go. This is what Ethan texted me this morning. Let's hear it. He's reading his text to me this morning.
It says, okay, I think I got a little bit too horny. LOL. Get on my OnlyFans so we can talk. You can tell me what I should do. Here. LOL. By the way,
to remember, this is Ethan to me this morning. 9
by the way,
I was in the shower.
I imagine for all of you people who have OnlyFans, you do you. I don't care. You do whatever you want. But that is very clearly a bot, and there's no way anybody who looks like that is interested in me. So if that is your angle,
I can say that's not true. I've been there.
If that's your angle, then just keep sending them to me.
All right, let's end this, boys. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Ethan, thank you so much for being here, my guy.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man. We'll get you on again. This is a super fun one.
All right.
We'll see you guys
later.
later.
All right, guys. Peace.
Fade to black, Drizzle.
All right, sounds good.
You guys are fucking gay.